Thank you all so much. Hey, it's great to be with you. Great to be with Steve and Natalie. This is the beginning of the primary season where America First Patriots have to start winning and getting in position to give us the backup we need in Washington, D.C. The truth that we have laid bare before the country is that we cannot win the battles that are necessary with the current Republican team. Now, the good news is that CNN is announcing the droves of establishment Republicans who are heading to the gates because all of you have sent them there. They can't face down the war room. They can't face down their own records, their own weakness. And so they're heading for the hills, and now Republican primary voters have to step up and refill those billets with folks. And it starts in Texas and in Ohio on March 5th, where we got to get behind candidates like J.R. Majewski and Brandon Gill, and that's going to roll through the primary election cycle, and that's how we retake the country back, by getting Trump in the White House and getting a team in Congress that will actually fight.
Tell us about, by the way, you lost all these committee chairs, you lost all these all people with seniority, and of course MSNBC, CNN, New York Times said it's the end of the Republican Party, that all the talent and experience left. What's the reality?
Well, a lot of those folks have become deeply uncomfortable with the Washington that I am trying to recreate. I want a Washington where members of Congress get called out if they're trading individual stocks and enriching themselves on information that's not available to the regular public. I want a Washington where you have to own your vote. You have to stand behind it, and it's not just one up or down vote on funding the whole government or not, where these agencies have to defend themselves, and that's how you defang this woke and weaponized government. You zero out their salaries, you take away their authorities, and if politicians of either party will not stand with we the people, then we replace them. I wish that I spent all my days just fighting the Democrats, but if Republicans are going to act like Democrats in drag, I will lead the fight against them too.
Do we love Matt Gaetz? Are you on? By the way, is Gaetz on the list on the VP vote? Are you on that? Are you on that list?
I'm constitutionally ineligible because I don't think President Trump or I could ever cease being a Florida man. And you can't have two from the same state. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get like Brooklyn Byron. Maybe he'll go to Brooklyn so that he can be eligible, and that would be terrific. But I am never leaving the Sunshine State.
Florida man. Okay. We start on March 5th in Texas and Ohio. Walk through the Matt Gaetz plan of how you get these firebrands with your firebrand, how we roll through the primary season and get the people in the House that have the stones to make the changes that need to be made.
Well, look, I am a blunt force instrument. Okay, I'm a little rough around the edges. But at times, that's what we need in Washington, D.C. This is not the era for people who do the fine carpentry and maybe create just the next blue ribbon commission or rename a post office. We're not a few post office renamings away from saving the country, my friends. We need people who are tough and strong. And so I've been the road grader. I've been out there clearing the way, and the mainstream media hate me for it, and they blame me for it. But that's where I need all of you to be behind me, because I will confess this frailty. I don't have a national political organization that is screening and reviewing candidates. I don't have the ability to finance every challenger in every race. And so I am relying on this simple fact. There are more of us than there are of them. And they are afraid about that, and they should be. Because if the War Room posse, if all the work you've done with people like Steve Stern to fill the billets of these Republican executive committees, that is the infrastructure that I am relying on. So it's on you. I've run a leg of this relay by clearing a lot of these folks out, and now we gotta source the true patriots from the posers and the fakes. And you know what? We're getting a lot better than that at that, aren't we? We're able to identify these people early on when they are fraud feasors, and we are able to be the ballast against that.
Okay, two things. By the way, is Gaetz right or not about this? This is your group right here. Okay, what's going to happen on March 1st? You know the inside baseball. Are we going to either shut the border and shut the government, or are we going to just continue to kick the can down the road?
Well, here is what we have seen, and it's grisly and it's ugly, and you're not going to like it. We don't have a majority in either legislative chamber that actually wants to reduce spending. Because when we had single subject spending bills up, and I would introduce amendments, Eli Crane would introduce amendments, Bob Good, Matt Rosendale, Scott Perry, to cut funding to foreign aid, to cut the UN, to cut USAID, to cut CISA and the censorship industrial complex. You saw dozens upon dozens of Republicans joining with every Democrat to pass more spending. My fear is that we don't have a team who understands how to utilize leverage. The House of Representatives is the sole node of power that we have in this entire government right now. I say we take it out for a spin. I say we put the majority at risk if necessary to accomplish our goals. That's what the left does. The left is willing to take risks to advance their objectives, and then we are far too willing to preside over decline. So my fear is that coming in March, you'll see this middle-out, uniparty minibus system that will prevail over those of us who want true spending cuts and want institutional reform to the Congress. Now, the omnibus spending bill, where you vote on everything at once, one thing I'll give Speaker Johnson is he busted that up, so it will have to be minibuses instead of omnibuses. That is not sufficient to save the country. It is directionally correct. It is necessary but insufficient. The only way we do this is we get single subject spending bills, and then we get lawmakers willing to vote for spending cuts to wasteful and woke government.
By the way, can we keep you into the next block?
I got nowhere else to be, Steve.
Okay, Matt Gaetz, our new co-host.
But I'm tired of Natalie dominating the conversation like this.
I know my place.
No, we talk about the CCP in the next block. In fact, we got a very special thing for Natalie. We're going to open up with a real surprise in the next segment.
Oh my.
Real quickly, we're going to hold this until after our surprise to open the next segment. Gaetz is still going to be with us. Can note Abby Phillip, her producer at CNN. Please do Abby a favor. Stop booking Matt Gaetz.
I love when they have. Look, Bannon is the king of opposition media. You love to go face down the Bill Maher's and the resistance libs. And you know what? They need that. And we don't have enough Republicans willing to do it.
But Abby is not Joyanne Reed. She's not Rachel Maddow. She's not obnoxious. She's a good person. It's not fair for her to get blown up every time you go there. That's why her producer's got to cover for her. She's too nice a person.
Hey, you know what? I'll take all comers. We have to bring our message to any corner of the internet or television that is willing to take us, and we should do it unafraid because we are the true patriots fighting for this country.
In the Lion's Den, Matt Gaetz. Short commercial break. We're going to be back with a surprise.